Hey, Sarah Wells Rowland here at the Village Potter's Clay Center. I am going to be demonstrating how to put a porcelain handle on this cup right here. I love working with porcelain, and it's just beautiful in kilns where there's wood ash and soda ash, and so I am really excited to make this piece. Um, this is a Miller 550. It's a cone tin porcelain made by Laguna, and I love it. So I just threw this cup and put some porcelain slip on it. And when you have thick slip on your cup, I highly recommend you take it off before you put the handle on, because I have problems with them pulling away if I don't do that. So even though this is the same clay body, it's the 550 slip on the 550 cup, I'm going to remove all the slip where the handle's going to attach on. And then I'm going to attach the handle at the base right here, so I'm going to remove a little bit of the slip down there as well. All right, if there wasn't slip on this cup, I would not be doing that. Now, I threw this finished, so you can see the wax line that I created, which also creates a lovely shadow under the cup. But I'm just going to take a rib and smooth and compress the bottom of the pot. Make sure when you make pottery that you are considering every detail, even down to the base. I'm going to come around with a damp sponge and compress that edge just a little bit and sign it. All right, now it's time to put the handle on. So the first thing I'm going to do is score. And I like to score pretty deep, and the reason why is I don't want to come back and fuss with it later. I want, once this handle's on, it's a done deal. I will cover this mug overnight, lightly draped, and then I'm just going to let it dry. So you can see I've scored it pretty well there, right? I'm going to put a little moisture on it. Not too much, because, woo, porcelain will go soft on you faster than anything. I'm going to score just a little bit on the bottom. Look at that. A smidge of water there. And now it's time to pull the handle. So I just had a ball of clay, and I rolled it out into this small coil, and I'm going to put a little water on my hand and gently massage this clay till it wakes up, which means I'm not really trying to pull the handle yet. I'm just giving it some activity so that it gets more and more plastic. And then once I feel it stretching easily, that's when I'm going to pull the handle. So I'll just make the decision now for this to be the front and this to be the back. I want this handle to have a slight taper to it. So I don't want it completely finished because I'm going to pull it off the cup. So the first thing I'm going to do is take a needle tool and cut this little jagged edge off here, and I'm going to cut a little bit of the clay off up here. If you make your blank a little thicker than you need it to be, and you hold it up to your cup and it's at least as tall as your cup is, you usually have more than enough clay to work with. So the first thing I'm going to do is attach this down here at the base. This is going to be a handle that's attached strongly at the bottom. I better take a little more of the slip off to do that. There we go. Now I'll score it. Let's do it again. And I need it to come up off the mug this way. So if I want it to come off this way, that means I need to remove some of this clay right here. You see how I did that? And now it's going the direction that I desire. So I'm just going to take it and squish it into the cup. And down here, I'm going to work on the attachment so that it has a nice, strong attachment to it. And then I'm going to hold this cup upside down and pull this. And you can see I've got plenty of clay. I'm going to even put one finger against where I've attached it on so that I don't pull it away from the cup. I want the line of this join where it's joined on right here to flow right in to the handle. So I do that with my thumb. See it in the spoon right there? And then I just pull downward and stretch it. I love this part of making handles. Now this part, often on people's cups, is a little too thick. So make sure that you taper a little thinner. The other problem is too thin. You have to get it just right. Okay, that's feeling pretty good to me. A little more stretch to it. Now the first thing I'm going to do is turn it over and look at it. And I want you to notice how much taller this is from the cup actually. But I'm not going to take it off yet. I'm going to roll it over and look at it attached on and remove what I don't need. So I don't like handles to be way above the rim for two reasons. They're a little awkward to hold and they're a real pain in the dishwasher. So I'm going to take off that much of the clay and bring it down again and begin to think about this handle being just a smidge below the rim. Now when I take most of this clay off up under here, you can see I'm starting to get a pretty decent negative space there to hold on to this handle, right? I'm going to drop a little moisture right down in there and make sure that my join is happy. Now before I attach this on, I want to address one more thing about this spoon attachment right here. It's pretty thick over here, and I'm going to keep it thick attached on, but on the edge I'm going to make it look visually a little thinner. So right there I'm going to push down in and then let it come back into thickness, and it's such a more dynamic look. If you change the line weight of your handles, it really makes a handle look more interesting. See that there? Now I need to take some of this off the bottom because I can tell it's just too much clay. So I remove some, and now I'm just creating my shape back into a spoon. And I feel pretty good about that. I'm going to scoot this up and into my scoring. This is looking pretty good. Now all I've got to do is attach up under the handle right there. So I'm going to come and give it a little less negative space, because if you notice the fingers are way far from the cup. So let's just bring it in closer, shall we? Like that. Take a little bit more of that clay off, and then I'm going to just make a spoon right up under here too. So how am I going to do that? Just slip my finger up under there and begin to push downward with that wonderful clay. Oh, that's looking really good. I like it when there's interesting things happening within the negative space of a cup. That's looking pretty nice, isn't it? I'm going to mess with work with the negative space just a little bit, which means I want it to come a little more exaggerated out from the cup down here. The only reason is because it's going to hold better if I do that. And there it is. Voila!